And welcome back to Stoner Watch Clone Wars Debrief. Today we're going to be breaking down Season 7, Episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten. Now we had a runtime of 30 minutes for this episode. Now this one started off a little bit different compared to all the other ones. This one had a Lucasfilm limited production title screen, and then it jumps right into the Clone Wars logo, which is now red and accompanied by the John Williams original Star Wars theme music instead of our normal Clone Wars theme music, which was pretty damn awesome, I have to say. Now, Saul Ruiz comes in to kick off the Season Mandalore story arc, and this one's written by Dave Filoni, created by George Lucas, of course. Starring Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka Tano, Tom Kane as Admiral Yularen and the narrator, Julian Holloway as Almec, Matt Lanter comes in as Anakin Skywalker, Katee sackhoff, Bokatan, Sam Witwer, Maul, Sharmila, Devar as Ursa Wren, Matthew Wood comes in to do the battle droids, D. Bradley Baker returns as the clone troopers and Commander Rex, James Arnold Taylor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Vanessa Marshall comes in as Rook Cast, Donald Faison as the tactical droid, and Ray Stevenson as Gar Saxton. Now the description reads, Anakin and Obi-Wan must decide whether to help Ahsoka pursue Maul or rescue Palpatine. Now this is the first of the four for the Season Mandalorian historic that we're going to get for the next few weeks. Now this was a pretty damn good episode, I have to say. It was action-packed. I mean, the action sequences in this thing was just awesome. Now we didn't get a fortune cookie at the beginning of this one like we've had with episodes in the past. Instead, we just kind of jumped right into it, and it was just pretty much got the narrator pretty much gave us the breakdown of where we're at in the story. Now this story arc is supposed to take place alongside the events of Revenge of the Sith, and this show does not hesitate to jump right into it, because in the narrated description we find out that the Separatist forces along with General Grievous have launched this massive attack on the galaxy, which has forced the Jedi to spread out their forces even more so out in the Outer Rim, and this puts our Jedi Masters that we see in Revenge of the Sith on why they're on the planets that they're on. And we also see a bunch of Jedi Masters standing around a hollow table as they try to figure out what to do with their Separatists. And among them, we have Jedi Master Depa Billaba, along with her Padawan, Caleb Doom, a.k.a. Kanan Jarrus. Now, I have to say, I thought that was pretty cool that they added those two in there, and I actually had to go back a couple of times to make sure that I'm like, is that who I thought it was? Yep, that's who I thought it was, to see Kanan. That was a pretty good ad. I liked that a lot. I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Now, this show did not waste any time. They pretty much jumped right into the action. We find Commander Cody and his troops pinned down on a bridge. Obi-Wan tries to help him out, but then he ends up being pinned down right alongside him, and then in comes Anakin Skywalker pretty much to save the day. He walks out pretty much in the middle of nowhere, acting like he's going to surrender just to draw out the tactical droid, and once he does, he destroys the tactical droid. Then Rex and the 501st make short work of the rest of the Separatist forces. Anakin is then contacted by Admiral Yularen saying he's receiving a subspace transmission from a Volcrum, and Anakin and Obi-Wan automatically assume that it's from Saw Gerrera. The Admiral said, no, it is not from Saw Gerrera, but you both are going to be interesting on to see who it is. As Anakin and Obi-Wan walk onto the bridge, we find Admiral Yularen speaking with Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan. After Anakin's initial shock, Ahsoka goes on to say that they have found information on the whereabouts of the renegade Maul, and they need to discuss those right away. When Ahsoka and Bo-Katan finally arrive, they are met in the hangar by Obi-Wan and Anakin. Anakin immediately tries to get all caught up with Ahsoka, and she said, hold on, there are more important things at hand that we need to attend to. Bo-Katan jumps in to say that every minute we waste here is another minute that allows Maul to escape. In the briefing room, Bo-Katan pretty much breaks it down, saying that she does not have the manpower or the firepower to lay siege on Mandalore, so she's requesting help from the Republic. Obi-Wan goes on to say, if we help you in any regard, we will be breaking treaties that are over 100 years old, and we'll be pretty much starting a new war. Bo-Katan counters saying, what's one more? Obi-Wan says, now I will have to go check with the Jedi Council and see what they say that we should do. Bo-Katan counters on and says, we don't have time for you to do that. We need to act now. Maul's influence is destroying my people. He's murdered my leader and my sister. I thought you cared. Now you can tell this kind of hurt Obi-Wan a little bit, and he says, I did care, and I do care, but I'm not going to let my emotions cloud my judgment, and we will let the Jedi Council decide what we are going to do. After everyone leaves the briefing room, Anakin tells Ahsoka that he has a surprise for her, and he takes her down the hall. On the way there are clones that are passing by, and they're saluting her and saying, welcome back, Commander. Good to see you, Commander. And she said, why are they calling me a Commander? I'm no longer with the Jedi Temple. Anakin said it doesn't really matter to them, because they know what you've done for them in the past in battle, and that loyalty to a clone means everything. He turns and the doors open, and we see Captain Rex and the 501st, all donning helmets painted to look like Ahsoka. Anakin says, as soon as the guys heard that you were on your way back, they got to work right away. Now, as we go into the room, there's an exchange between Ahsoka and Rex, and we can see how, like, the closest, the respect, and the tight bond that they have, which goes well into Star Wars Rebels. Anakin says, I have something else for you. He produces a box and he goes to hand it to her. And as he does, the alarm starts to go off and Obi-Wan bursts through the door and says, we've been recalled to Coruscant. Grievous has launched an all-out assault on Coruscant. Anakin says, what about the Chancellor? Obi-Wan says he's being guarded by a Shakti, but Master Windu cannot reach her at this point. Ahsoka then says you're going to abandon the people on Mandalore over politics then? This is why most people have lost faith in the Jedi. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka argue a little bit on which is more important, the Chancellor or the people on Mandalore. Obi-Wan says the people on Coruscant needs us, and Ahsoka says no, the Chancellor does. Anakin comes up with a plan to divide the 501st and put Ahsoka in command. Obi-Wan says, unfortunately, Ahsoka is no longer part of the Grand Army. Then Anakin says, well, I will promote Rex to commander and keep Ahsoka as an advisor. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan agree to this new plan. Now, after Obi-Wan finally leaves, Anakin says, if you're going to face Maul, you're going to need these. And he brandishes the box again, and we finally open it up, and we find out it's her lightsabers. Now, I said last week in my episode that I was wondering how she was going to get her lightsabers back. Well, here you go. Anakin says, I took good care of them. They're good as new, if not better. Now, as they go their separate ways, and she wishes their master luck. Now, this is the last time they're going to see each other. This is the last time she's going to see Anakin Skywalker. Now, I wonder exactly how much of the Revenge of the Sith they actually going to show on the Clone Wars series in these next 3 episodes. It'd be very interesting to see what they show. Are they going to show us something different that we did not see in episode 3? I'm wondering. What do you think? Let me know about that in the comments down below. Now, this action sequence as they come down on the planet Mandalore is just awesome. It's just awesome. I mean, it felt so much like Star Wars. It just took me back. Now, this is taking place around the same time as the Revenge of the Sith, so a lot of the artwork and color scheme for this episode pretty much coincide with that. Again, this was just awesome. Now, as they come closer to the palace, now, as the air is filled with anti-aircraft fire, dropships are being taken out left and right, so everybody's resorting to putting on jetpacks and jumping out. Now, Rex turns to Ahsoka and says, hey, I forgot to bring you one. Ahsoka says, I don't need one. I'll race you down. Now, this sequence of her going from the dropship all the way down to the palace was pretty neat to watch. I have to say, I liked it. I thought it was just awesome. And then when she finally does get there and then Rex shows up, she says, I beat ya. And then Rex then makes a comment just like old times. After a little bit more of heavy fighting, Bokatan says, I will go take care of Almec. You go find Maul. Do not let him escape. Ahsoka and Rex are contacted by Captain Vaughn. I believe that's what his name was. And he says that we've followed some of the leadership down below. And Ahsoka says, we'll be there in a minute. And when they get there, they go, it's pretty much like the sewers or something like underneath the city. He said Gar Saxton and some of his men went down that tunnel and they seem to be in a hurry. And Ahsoka says, well, let's go find out what they're up to. And they all proceed down into the tunnel. Meanwhile, up top in the throne room, Bokatan easily beats Almec in a fight. Now, he says, he wanted you to bring the Jedi, but you brought the wrong one. Bokatan, realizing it could be a trap, she tries to contact Ahsoka, but with no luck. Down in the tunnels, it kind of felt like a horror movie, like the hunters were becoming the hunted. Now, Gar Saxton and his men easily take out the clones, and we find Ahsoka trapped. And then we finally get to see Maul. He comes walking on. He is furious because obviously he wanted a rematch with Kenobi, and he was wondering why it's Ahsoka there and not him. Now, I had to say, I liked this episode. I liked it a lot. I almost want to say it's pretty much like the best one so far out of this final season. I can't wait to see what they do in the next 3 weeks and where they're going to go with the story, how much they're actually going to show for Order 66 and everything else. I just can't wait to see where they go with this. This is just awesome. Just awesome. So, I don't know, what do you think about this in the comments down below? Are you looking forward to the next 3 episodes? How much of the Order 66 do you think that we'll actually get to see? Let me know in the comments down below. This was just an awesome episode. I think this is pretty much my favorite one so far the whole season. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. See you next time, people. Peace. Make sure you click on that subscribe button so you can be notified every time I drop another video. Hey, while you're at it, check out one of my other movie review videos or check out one of my drum cover videos. Give it a like, give it a share. Join in the discussion in the comments down below. Have a good day. Peace.